Cougars and Cougarettes. It's another episode of The Distance Between Us with Mrs. Odom, and we have a very special guest today. We have Mr. Fauce. How are you, Mr. Fauce?
Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing great. Thank you.
That is fabulous. So, Mr. Fauce, everybody always wants me to ask this. So can you please tell us where you went to school?
That's a very long question for me. I went to a few different schools. I started off as a freshman in college. Oh, are you talking about colleges, I assume?
Yes, your education to get to be where you are now.
Yeah. So I went to after I graduated high school locally. I went to Upland High School. I went to Sonoma State University for a year, which is about an hour north of San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
It was very, very rainy up there. I like rain. I I told my first period class a story right before I left for school. Right before I left for school, I hurt my ankle really badly. So I had kind of a bad experience there because I was on crutches for about half the year. So I kind of missed my friends. I missed my family. It was far away. It was like an 8-hour drive every time I wanted to come home. So I decided to come back home, and I went to Chaffey for a year and a half. I finished up my undergrad stuff at Chaffey. And then from Chaffey, I transferred to San Diego State University. I went there for 2 years. I got my degree in neuropsychology, so like study of the brain and things like that, which was very interesting and a great time. And then after I finished there, I eventually went to University of Laverne to get my teaching credential.
Wow, so you got a little bit of everything in there.
I did, yeah.
But that's good. You guys see, I mean, you can go somewhere and go somewhere else and continue your education. That's always good. And this is what I learned about Mr. Fauce recently, that he likes the original football, correct? You like soccer. That's what I heard about you.
I do. I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm a huge Liverpool fan. Uh, I I'm obsessed with it. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning every Saturday to watch games.
Wow.
The time difference between here and England is 8 hours, so a 4:30 kickoff for us is a 12:30 p.m. kickoff for them, so it's not a big deal for them. But my friends always ask me, why don't you just record it and watch it later? And I refuse to watch sports when they're recorded. So I wake up 4:30 just about every Saturday and watch the games, and I'll never miss a Liverpool game unless they're playing during school hours, which is always unfortunate. But yeah, most of the time when they're playing on the weekends, I don't miss a single second of a single game.
Wow. Now, have you ever played yourself?
I did play soccer for a very long time. I got to a point when I was in high school where I was playing both. I was playing baseball and soccer. And basically, the more or less like when I was a junior, I think I was, like the athletic director talked to me and said, hey, like I think it's probably a good idea for you to kind of choose one in case you're trying to play in college. So you can play like one of them year round in club and stuff like that. So I was significantly better at baseball. So I decided to go with baseball, hoping that, if I decided I wanted to walk on at a college team or something like that, I could. That ended up not happening, but I love soccer. I'll always love soccer, but baseball is my first love actually. But I have, it's a tight race.
That is something I did not know, you guys. And here's a little bit of something we have when we come back to school. We have a soccer team, so maybe we can convince him to help us coach. Hint, hint. That would be exciting.
I would love to. Yeah, that's actually, and same thing with baseball. The strategy of it all is really what I love. I wasn't the most athletic guy on the team by any means. I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the biggest. I wasn't the strongest. But I felt like I prepared myself strategically better than anybody on the team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all that psychology going on in there. You figured it out. You figured out the mental part of the game, which is half of the game right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything you would like to say to our Cougars right now? Anything at all?
Yes, I would just say, I tell my kids all the time in my classes, but now that I have a wider audience, I would just say, I can't imagine going through something like this when I was in middle school. I really could not imagine how difficult it would be. I playing sports and just growing up with friends down the street. I love and a lot of the friends I have now are friends I had in middle school. And I hope that you guys find a way to stay in touch with each other. Apart, like how we do school, find a way to video conference with each other, call each other, text each other, whatever it is. But reach out to each other. So the teachers are trying their best to reach out to you, but also reach out to each other because, that's a different relationship, right? Kids, you guys can share things with each other that maybe you don't feel comfortable sharing with teachers or in front of the class. So having those friendships and really leaning on those friendships right now is so, so, so important. And it just reminds yourself that if you honestly, and this is one of the hardest things that all of us will ever have to go through really in our lives. It's truly a once in a lifetime thing. Um, so just know that if you can get through this at your age with a smile on your face, you're going to be able to get through a lot of really difficult times in your life, whether it be hard tests in high school or college or whatever it is, you're going to be able to get through just about, because you'll look back at things that, oh, that essay was really hard for me, but you're going to laugh and say, oh, well, compared to the year of 2020, that was nothing. Right. So you're really, even though it doesn't feel like it right now, you're really preparing yourself for any bumps in the road that are coming. So I hope you realize that. It's hard to realize that right now, but you are preparing yourself for any bumps in the road that are going to come your way, and you're going to be able to fly right by those now.
Well, there you guys go. You heard it directly from Mr. Fauce. So now you have to do it. And that is some great advice. So thank you for joining me today. And Mr. Fauce, I appreciate you giving us your time. And to all you little cougars and cougarettes, we hope we see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Keep working hard. Bye-bye.